chocolate downpour, when DC's skies go full Willy Wonka, and no one gets a golden ticket. In a plot twist that even Roald Dahl couldn't dream up, the nation's prized climatic harmony engine, CHE for short, because acronyms make everything sound less like a sci-fi fever dream, has sprung a leak of the most deliciously disastrous kind, chocolate rain. Yes, you read that right. For the past 48 hours, the skies over the capital have been weeping molten cocoa, turning the reflecting pool into a fondue fountain and the Lincoln Memorial into what looks like a half-melted s'more. Pedestrians with umbrellas? Forget it? They're wielding spatulas now. The CHE, unveiled just last spring by the Department of Atmospheric Shenanigans, DAS, as a climate fix-all to combat everything from droughts to bad vibes, was supposed to fine-tune weather patterns with the precision of a barista pulling espresso shots. Instead, it appears a rogue algorithm, rumored to have been coded by a summer intern binge-watching The Office, decided that humidity control meant Hershey's factory explosion. Eyewitnesses described the initial droplets as warm, velvety, and suspiciously free of almonds, quickly escalating to a full-on deluge that coated everything from the Supreme Court steps to Senator Chuck Schumer's bifocals in a glossy sheath of semi-sweet despair. I was briefing the Ways and Means Committee on tax reform when it started, recounted Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, wiping ganache from her pearls with what was once a classified briefing folder. 1 minute, we're debating capital gains, the next, I'm explaining why the federal budget smells like a candy store clearance sale. It's sticky economics. Chaos ensued faster than a toddler discovering an unattended Easter basket. The National Mall, now a slip and slide of sinfully smooth temptation, saw lobbyists from Big Sugar high-fiving in the shadows while environmentalists wailed about unfair trade practices with Mother Nature. Traffic ground to a halt as Secret Service agents fashioned human candy bars out of armored SUVs to shield the first family. Rumor has it, the White House Easter Bunny has already filed for hazard pay. And don't get us started on the rats. Capitol Hill's furry underclass has unionized under the banner Rodents for Richer Diets, demanding veto power over future firmware updates. But leave it to politicians to turn a meteorological mishap into a masterclass in partisan pastry warfare. House Speaker Mike Johnson, RLA, took to the podium, now resembling a giant eclair, with a fiery denunciation. This is clearly a deep state plot by the radical left to force-feed us socialism, one nougat at a time. Why chocolate? Because it's brown, and we all know what that means in DC. Across the aisle, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, DNY, fired back via a TikTok live from her rooftop, where she's been crowd-surfing the cocoa waves. Mike, if this is socialism, sign me up, it's got more equity than your tax cuts for yacht owners. Free universal basic drizzle for all. Senate Majority Leader Schumer, ever the pragmatist, proposed the Sweet Relief Act of 2025, a bipartisan bill to repurpose the fallout as a national export. Think about it, chocolate-dipped bald eagles on Etsy. We're talking trillions in trade deficits turned surplus. Plus, it might finally get the filibuster unstuck. Critics, however, point out that the real sticky wicket is the DAS's funding trail. Buried in the fine print of last year's infrastructure bill was a $2.3 billion line item for experimental flavor enhancements, courtesy of a donor who also happens to own the world's largest cocoa plantation. Coincidence? Or just the sweetest bribe since the invention of the gumdrop? As cleanup crews, armed with industrial hair dryers and a prayer, battle the encroaching caramelization of Pennsylvania Avenue, experts warn of secondary effects. Expect a spike in diabetes lawsuits and existential dread, says climatologist Dr. Eliza Frost, who was last seen licking her spectrometer clean. But on the bright side, humidity levels are down 40%. Who knew existential dread could be so moisturizing? For now, DC residents are adapting with grim ingenuity, power suits swapped for ponchos, briefings held via Zoom, with muted mics to avoid slurping sounds, and a black market for milk booming faster than Bitcoin in a bull run. The CHE remains offline, its creators holed up in a bunker debating whether to reboot with vanilla next time. One thing's certain, in the eternal words of Veruca Salt, Washington wanted the world, and boy, did it get it, one drippy, decadent disaster at a time. Stay tuned for updates, or at least until the peanut butter phase kicks in. This is your correspondent, reporting live from the fudge apocalypse.